So what happened?
Well, yeah, it was only 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, I was just coming back from a doctor's appointment. I mean, you don't assume anything's going to happen that early on. I mean, it was getting dark. It was January, but yeah, and a guy coming out of the alleyway, it just brushed past me, and I didn't think anything of it. It caught my eye. I thought, OK, he's just trying to be a bit flirtatious or something, but he carried on walking, so I didn't think anything of it. But then, as I carried on walking into the alley, I heard footsteps running up behind me. I was like, OK, maybe he wants to catch my number or something like that. And I turned around and, yeah, he pushed me up against the wall and, yeah.
And that's when the attack started. Not to put too fine a point on it, I mean, it did get very personal, this, this attack. His hands were seriously roving.
Yeah.
You say that he put his tongue in your mouth.
Yes.
And did you think at that stage, because I know that people have said to you, which shows an incredible clarity of vision, you thought, right, OK, well, I'll collect a DNA sample. Were you thinking that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, as soon as he pushed me up against the fence, I mean, he tried to kiss me and forced his tongue in my mouth, and I thought, right, this left him vulnerable. I'm just going to bite down as hard as I can. It will show it's not consensual in any way, shape or form, get as much DNA as I can, and try and cause enough pain to get this guy off me.
So were you thinking that you would bite off the end of his tongue to save
I didn't know I'd get the bite off the end of his tongue, but I knew I'd try and get some DNA in my teeth and stuff at the time.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you did do, and you managed to bite off a part of his tongue. At that point then, you managed to escape, and it's over a mile to run home, which is exactly what you did.
Yeah.
And you get home, you don't speak to your husband, you don't do anything, you call the police straight away. You had no mobile phone on you, obviously, at the time. So you're thinking the whole time, I've got to preserve what I've got here in order to try and catch this guy. What happened then? So you phoned the police.
Yeah, well, I didn't get away straight away. I mean, it was a case of he pushed me up against the fence, and for some bizarre reason, when I bit him and tried to cause him pain, he enjoyed it. And that's it. For some reason, I knew there was something not quite right, because most people, they back off. Yeah. But no, and then it was only because of me being relentless on grabbing hold of chunks of his face and everything else, trying to get even more DNA evidence. That's because I was so relentless. Then he sort of gave way because he was solid. There was no way I was going to fight him off me.
And you were screaming as well. There wasn't anyone around to help you.
But yeah, and then when I got home, I mean, I didn't even speak to my husband, straight on the phone to the police, and I said, look, I've got this bit of evidence. What do I do with it? And they said, if you've got a sterile pot, put it straight in that, which I did. So. And
the thing is that I think it was about 11 years ago that you were the victim of rape.
About 10 years ago, yeah.
And at the time you delayed going to the police, and by the time you went to the police, there wasn't enough forensic evidence for them to match it up against records or make a conviction.
Yeah, that's right.
And you say that from that moment on, apart from the fact that you were in turmoil afterwards and it messed up your life, that you always felt guilty that you hadn't been able to do something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, after the first assault, I mean, I was completely a mess, and I was really young, naive, and I didn't go to the police straight away, and as a result, I mean, there wasn't enough evidence to convict him, and that, again, made me even more determined this time, right, I've got to get the evidence, I've got to show it's not consensual, and get to the police as quick as I can, so, yeah.
And we talk about the presence of mind that you had with the second attack, and that obviously was part of it. You were aware of the aftermath.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was like, determined this time, look, no one's going to do this to me again. I mean, I'm going to make sure that this person gets the treatment that they need, and yeah.